Okay. Yeah. Hello and welcome to another video. As usual, my name is Jeffrey. This is the Inquisitive Universe and you are all very welcome. Now, today I want to talk about budgets and expectations. Budgets and expectations. So let's get into this one very quickly. What are budgets and what are expectations? Now, this is one of the questions that I have had to field a lot. Not directly, people don't ask this directly, but they come at you with like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then you ask them, how much are you willing to spend for all of these things that you've mentioned? And then they call an amount that would make you laugh or cry. So let's get on with the video. Now, first off, what's a budget? A budget is an amount of money that you set aside for something, possibly for future use. People set aside money for their phones, phone budget. People set aside money for education. People set aside money for clothing. People set aside money for footwear. People set aside money for, their hair. Mine is not in the best state right now. But you get, like, people set aside money for stuff. When you set aside money for a particular purpose, what you're doing is that you're budgeting, because unless you are a millionaire, or even millionaires these days are pinching their pennies, unless you're a billionaire who has an infinite amount of money, because there really is a huge gap between million and billion. Unless you're a billionaire, then you probably, billionaires do budget, but that one is an aside. So like, most people don't have like an endless amount of money at their disposal, so they have to make budgets for certain things. So it's very important. When you do a budget, you have to trade off certain stuff. If I'm keeping this money here, it means that I'm not going to be able to afford or buy something that I would like. It happens, but hey, that's just the world. Now, expectations. Expectations is simply something that you expect. Or in the case of smartphones, it is the perceived ability of a smartphone to do certain things. So you expect the smartphone to be able to do certain things. That's expectations. Now, if we put the two together, expectations and budget is when you want to spend money for something that you hope would meet your expectations, to meet the ability or the value that you expect from that particular stuff. In this case, smartphones. But a lot of people, a whole lot of people, do not know how to marry these two key terms together, expectations and budgets. A lot of the time, very strongly saying this, a lot of the time, many people have expectations that are all the way up here, whilst their budget is all the way down here. I want a phone that can take killer photos. I want a phone that can take pictures at night, even without a flash. I want a phone that can play the best game on ultra high definition settings at 60 FPS. I want a phone that can do this. I want a phone that can do that. I want a phone that can take video without, even if my hand is shaking, the video will stabilize itself. That's optical image stabilization. I want. So, where is your budget, good sir, good ma? Our phones, that's when the excuses start coming out. Now, what are the reasons for people, not being able to marry their expectations to their budgets? First one is improper budgeting. That's the first one. Most people don't make budgets for smartphones. I'm actually sorry, but it's the truth. Most people do not make budgets for their Oh, you want a smartphone? They don't like. Personally, for me, I make, like, when I'm interested in a phone, like, in advance, I start, like, in that mindset. I start making budgets. I'm like, I'm going to keep, if I get a set, I'm going to keep this away. I'm going to keep this away until now. Before buying the Poco F5, I actually wanted the F3. And I started making budget allowances for it. But then I realized that, I had a certain windfall. Why go for a 2-year-old Poco F3 when I can actually get Poco F5? And then I ramped up my budget to meet my expectations. Too many people are not willing to, watch the market. I'll get to that anyway. So, poor budgeting habits. Most people don't budget. They just feel like, I just pick any amount of money that's available to me and I'll go and buy the next phone and it will give me certain performance. This doesn't always work. That's one. Two, an over-reliance on shop people. I have made a video about this. The problem with stores, like with smartphone stores or tech stores or whatever. An over-reliance on those people. You go there. Can it take pictures? Yes, it can, ma. Those people are going to tell you yes. They will say yes to anything. They don't care. What they know is that they have sales quotas that they're supposed to meet. If you're going to rely on those people and promise, and they will promise you heaven and hell and under the earth, just so that you part with that money and you make that purchase. They don't care. That's how the job desensitizes them. I'm sorry, it's the truth. So when you take that phone home and then they promise you heaven and earth, and then you want to use it to snap pictures, and then you start seeing something else, it's not going to be funny. It's not going to be as funny as I'm saying it here. Let's move on. Peer pressure. Yes, peer pressure. My friends are using a phone at this certain standard, so therefore like you see people, their expectations here, like they're just okay, they're just normal phone users, they don't really care. Some of them rarely even take pictures. But oh Jesus Christ, my friend has a phone that has Gcam. If you see the pictures, now they want a phone that has Gcam. Oh, my friend has a phone that plays Call of Duty. Oh, now they want a phone that plays Call of Duty. Even when personally they don't care about these things, it's not even in their budget, but this person has this one, I must follow up. That's one of the many problems. And a lot of the time, they don't do market research. That's another one. No market research. They don't do any market research at all. Like, what's going on right now? There's currently inflation in the country. Like, there's serious inflation. Right now, what 50,000 naira used to buy 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 100,000 naira cannot buy it. 150,000 barely. Okay? Barely. 150,000 can barely buy what 50,000 used to buy 2 to 3 years ago. And then you're going into the market and you have 100k, and then you're expecting all of these things. How? What type of magic is that one? They're going to package an entry-level phone for you and say, take, carry and go and use. And that's where the bewilderment starts. So this one now has actually, the used market is making a comeback. And then I have seen a whole lot of nonsense issues on this one. You see somebody like, they have 100k, for example, and they want to use an iPhone, they want to use the flagship they'll go and look for. They won't even go to a verified person, somebody that actually ships these phones into the country, or somebody that has a huge retail store that can offer them, like insurance, or that can offer them warranties in case something happens. They'll go and, like from one person and another person, they'll go and buy. They want to use iPhone, they want to use Samsung Galaxy S series, S20, S22, on what? On 100k, on 80,000 naira. And then you see them, they make fun, look at this one, you're still using Xiaomi, carry that amount of money to go and buy Xiaomi, when you can use to go and buy a second-hand Samsung. I see them all the time. Personally, myself, I know where my expectations are. I know what the state of the smartphone market is. I know what the financial situation is right now. I can marry all of them with my expectations and then get something for me. But a lot of people do not do these things at all. They just want to follow vibes and cruise and then just go and buy whatever nonsense that's available. And then you come back, then you see them, they start wailing all over the place. Oh, I bought this phone, I was expecting a certain performance. Your money wasn't enough. Your money not rich. Your money is not enough for you to be able to get what you're looking for. Then the ones that will go and buy low entry-level phones for that amount, you see them crying. The ones that will go and buy second-hand or third-hand or fourth-hand, Nigerian used, UK used, Zimbabwe used iPhones, and then the phone starts, the battery is dead, the glass is peeling off, like all sorts of stuff. You see them, they come wailing on social media. So all these things are prevalent in our society right now, in the tech community right now, because a lot of people do not know how to manage their expectations to their budgets. So that's why the very first thing I'm going to ask people to do, I'm going to ask you guys to do it too here. It's the same to people that consult me looking for smartphone advice. It's the same thing I tell them. The very first thing you want to do is that you need to understand what is going on in the financial market. I made 3 videos recently. Top 5 phones you can get for 50k, the top 5 phones you can get for 100k, and the top 5 phones you can get for 150k. I stopped making the series. I was supposed to do the one for 200k. I didn't do it anymore because by the time I made the one for 50k, by the time I made the one for 100k, the ones for 50k, they were obsolete. Like Redmi A2 Plus was 50,900. By the time I was making the one for a top 100k video, it went up to 60k. By the time I was making the one for 150k, it was 69,000. The price has come down a little bit to 66,800. But anybody that goes to check that video will probably laugh at me a little bit because, hey, it's the funny economy that we live in. You need to understand what's going on in the market first. And then secondly, you need to budget appropriately. And then three, you need to know what you want as a person. This whole stuff of this person is using this phone, I must use it. Peer pressure, societal pressure. It's something that I never let it bother me. I have seen people make fun of me personally. That, bro, you need to stop telling people that you used, that time I was using the Redmi Note 9 Pro, that bro, you're using the Redmi Note 9 Pro, a mid-range phone. Nah, as a content creator, look at all the content creators around. I don't want to mention all the names they called, but if I start rolling the names off the tip of my tongue, you probably know them. This one is using Samsung Galaxy S, this one iPhone. Look at them, they're all using iPhones. Bro, you should be, even if it's second-hand iPhone, just use it first and then just like hold it in your hand and that type of stuff. I was like, that type of pressure, people cannot pressure me. It does not happen. It doesn't touch me at all, that kind of pressure. I'm the kind of person that I am satisfied with what I have. I know what I want. I like performance, and I like a decent level of camera performance as well. CPU performance, camera performance, because I'm here right now. I'm shooting myself. So with that one, I know like this is where my money. This is the highest level that I can afford. So therefore, I'm bringing of course, I see flagships all the time. I see people turning their Samsung phone to they call them snipers on Facebook. Like they are here, they are, taking a picture. It's just for clout. You don't have any practical use for that stuff. So I bring my expectations down. And if my budget is here, okay, I'd adjust it a little bit so that they match somewhere. And this middle point that they match is the Poco F5 for me. I saw the F5 Pro. I mean, I even saw a second-hand Xiaomi 12T Pro. But I was like, heck no. I want a phone that when I buy it, I open the box. You see all those boxes there. I buy all my phones brand new. Brand new. I open the box. I tear off the pack. I open the box. I have the warranty card inside. It belongs to me. Nobody else has used it before. So there is no question of anything anywhere. No tracking, nothing. Because I have learned to bring my expectations down and carry my budget slightly up to meet it. That's it. And that is what I would advise everybody, everywhere, anywhere. If you're watching this or you're listening to the sound of my voice, match your expectations to your budget, to what you have. If you know that your expectations is high, your budget is here, tone your expectations down until one day, maybe, probably, hopefully, when your budget goes up, then you can then take your expectations up to meet it. But if your expectations is here and you're looking for this here, you're going to fall prey to a lot of scammers, to yourself, to your own overly high expectations. You got to bring that thing down. Or better yet, find a way to bring your budget up and find a compromise. That's it. I don't know. Tell me what you think about it. My name has been Jeffrey, and this has been the Inquisitive Universe. I'll see you in the next one.